and Johanna tell us more about planning their wedding.
After my wedding, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna have about 7 bridesmaids, all of my best friends, my sister, of course. And then at one point, I was like, I'm just chopping it down to 3. I'm gonna have 1 friend to represent all my friends. I'm gonna have my cousin to represent my family, and of course, my sister as my maid of honor. So I was like, yeah, and honestly, working with the smaller number was a lot easier for me. I would have loved to have my friends in it, but I'm type of person I can't deal with the stress, and so whenever something comes stressful to me, I just put it down. So I worked with 3 persons. He was completely for it. He actually just wanted 1 person, and then he's like, all right, well, you know, yeah, I talked him into adding 2 more persons, because I was like, just having 1 person walk down with the best man and then my 2 girls are just left there coming down the aisle. That don't look good.
Johanna shared her bridal shower experience.
One of my friends actually let it out that it was a surprise. She actually set the date, so my sister wasn't too amused by that, but she said, all right, she'll work with it, she'll switch it up. And I just had it that it's probably gonna be at my auntie's house. I probably know who they're gonna invite already. So I was like, okay. So Matt said on the same day so I knew I was having a show on that day. I just didn't know where, and I didn't know how they were going to do it. So Matt said he had to meet with a particular person to come and speak at young adults at church. So he said before dropping me to my show, he has to take me along with him. So I said, okay. So he parked the car at the house, and he's like, just follow me inside because I may have to talk to him for a little. And I followed him inside, and you know, he was saying, boy Matthew, I'm not sure if I can make it for young adults. You know, it sounded like one of those serious conversations. So I was like, I wonder if I should just wait inside. And then he opened the door and everyone's like, surprise! And I'm like, what? I totally didn't expect it, because I was saying maybe it's at my auntie's house and I'm just following Matt to, you know, just solidify plans for young adults. And they just surprised me, and it was beautiful. I mean, they had a treat, like a special, I love ice cream, he can tell you, cake, desserts, I love all those stuff. So they told each person to bring like a favorite dessert, and I had like ice cream and cakes, cupcakes, a whole heap of sweets. And then they decorated it so nice. I mean, they had like these balls up in the tree, and then like a nice soft cushion for me to sit on. And all of my friends from Andrews, from UE, from church, everyone was there. So it was so nice. And I mean, I got to shows and I was like, I just can't wait to be in the chair, you know, like I wonder what it's like. And then of course, you know, nice games, typical gift opening and everything, advice.
And what was Matthew's experience for his bachelor party?
The day the men planned an event for me, they could not get me out of the house. And then they used her best friend to get me out of the house. She said she wanted to take a walk with me. So I said, fine, let's go to the park. Upon walking through the park, I noticed a car driving past me 2 times. Now, I'm very observant of my surroundings. So when a car passes me 2 times with 4 men in it, I begin to get very suspicious. The second time the car passed, the 4 men, they wrapped like some bubble. I was like, why 4 men in a car, heads wrapped? That don't make sense. Suddenly, the car came back a 3rd time. 4 men jumped out from the vehicle and grabbed me by the foot, 1 by the hand, 1 by the head, all over my body, tied me with ropes and chains, and flung me in the back of a car. Ladies saw and started to scream, murder! And then her best friend had to run and say, no, 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 it's a prank. That was what my bachelor party started like. I need not tell you the rest. It was torture.
And that same lady that screamed murder, she actually started ball out teeth, and she had a machete in her hand. And my best friend, who was one of my bridesmaids, had to be like, no, it's okay, it's okay. She had to calm her down seriously.
Oh, and police came looking for the men, who turned out to be my 4 friends. So they're very lucky to be alive.
Dress now. I'm not the type of girl where I'm spending whole heap of money, like say yes to the dress, and I only wear the dress 1 time. So I was like, I'll rent my dress. Went to Beautiful Brides and Mr. Tux very early. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Saw a lovely dress that I wanted, and I said, all right, you know. But what had actually happened, the one that I wanted, a girl already booked that on the same day that I was getting married. I didn't find that out until my mother was going to pay down for the dress, and they told her, so I was devastated. But I was like, okay, let me try that other dress that was a second option, and that worked out pretty nicely. So yeah.
My attire was something I really wanted, one of those very penguin type. But I was told by my tailor that that doesn't make sense in this economical climate. Those suits you only wear once. And I took his advice and just altered my attire for the vest to really capture what they used to wear in the past. And I found this vest that they actually used to wear in like the early 1900s.
After finding such luxurious attire, one will need a photographer to capture the moments. We have one in mind.
My name is Ramesh Newell, and I'm from Ramesh Newell Photography. I really started when I saw Kyle Meikle from way back, and he did some pictures and I loved it, and I messed around with the camera there, but really didn't have anybody who was close to me, living in my proximity, that had a camera or, you know, would give me the opportunity to really experiment. Started working with Shane Dennis after that, you know, S Definitions. We did some work together, you know, sharing a camera and stuff like that. And then after that, I was able to get my own camera. What I love about photography is I love the art, you know, the art that you're able to create. You know, on my website, I have Christ-centered art, you know, trying to capture what Jesus has already done, what God has already done, just try to capture that natural look as it is.
Ramesh shared with us some hot trends in wedding photography, including photos before and after the wedding.
Well, the getting ready pictures, it really helps the bride and the groom after the wedding, especially a couple of years down, to look back through the album and to be able to relive every moment, you know, to really be able to just go into it and just be like, oh yeah, I remember this. You know, I know what was happening here. I saw a laugh here. Oh yeah, I remember when the makeup artist was doing the makeup and they said, blah, and everybody laughed. And it's a good way to recap and to look back over all that happened and just be able to really like say, this was a good time. You know, remember the time, relive the time. The after shoot, the winding down, you know, when everything is done, that whole relaxed face, you know, you pull the tie off, you really just, you know. I did a wedding recently and we did the after shoot in the honeymoon suite, you know, and it was good because we got to capture that start and that finish, you know. A lot of the times the wedding pictures really just end with the reception, everybody dancing, and it ends there. But this kind of crescendos the picture. So you start with the getting ready, you have the ceremony, you have the photo shoot in between, you have the reception, and you kind of wind down into that honeymoon looking transition from both being individuals to that oneness.
With so many to choose from, what should you look for in a wedding photographer?
There are a lot of things that you should look for. I think the first thing you really should know is what is your style. You know, what is it that you want from your pictures? What you want to see when you're looking at the pictures 10 years from now, 5 years from now. What you want to be in them. And so I think what I would recommend is that people look around and see what different photographers have done and see which one captures what would be meaningful to them. You know, what they believe will last for them and down the road will be of importance to them, you know. So that's what I would recommend, knowing what you'd like. Another thing is, when you figure out what you like, whether you're traditional or you're creative, you try and find a photographer who will give you what you want, you know. Because some photographers, if you want creativity, they might not have creativity for you. You know, the expertise might be in somewhere else, you know. So I always say, get sample pictures from them, see what the print look like, you know, get a complete album from them, you know, a wedding that they've done, and look through the album and look through the wedding and say, this is it, you know, this is a wedding that it shows what I like, you know, and I believe that if he can replicate this, then I will be comfortable, then I'll be satisfied. So you really want to see what the photographer has done and know if that is your style. See how flexible he is. Because the wedding day can be tricky. Sometimes it should start at 3 and it doesn't start until 4. And there's nothing you can control. You know, is he going to charge you for that? Or is he going to be understanding and say, all right, you know what? I see that it really is out of your control. Let it go. You know what I mean? We'll just it won't change the price of anything? Or will it be a case where he said to you, 7 hours? So at the end of 7 hours, if the reception didn't start yet or the ceremony just finished, that's where your coverage finishes. I want whatever the bride wants. You know, I try and figure out the type of bride that I'm working with and what is it that she wants. You have some brides where you know right off the bat they're energetic, they're exciting, you know, they want pictures that they look back and laugh at, you know, or they want pictures that they can remember a moment, you know what I mean? And so based on what I know the bride and groom will like, I'll do the bridal shoot based on that. If they're looking for something very different, then I'll find something very creative for them. Like there was one where we had all the men stooping, or the women stooping, sorry, and the men jump over them. You know, we had that in the picture, and that was really dramatic, and they liked that. There was a wedding that I did at Emancipation Park where they never wanted something so dramatic. They're older couple, you know, there's a second marriage, and they really wanted something just really formal. And so for that now I'll give them maybe 2 lines and maybe a curve, and then maybe use some dramatic lighting to just really like bring it out and make it a little bit different, but nothing too that they wouldn't be okay with or uncomfortable with. So I try to examine the comfort level of the bride and groom and work along that. My name is Ramesh Newell, and I'm from Ramesh Newell Photography.
And when we return, it's time for the wedding day.